Alright, hello and welcome back to ranD&D, where we roll for random player characters for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We'll roll for random race, class, background, and personality traits, and then try and make sense of the Frankenstein we just put together. I am Tim. Emily is not with me, so instead I am joined by...
I am Cindy. I am very similar to Emily. We both drink wine. I just happen to do it while doing the nerdy things with you instead of in the background.
Exactly. Alright, you ready to get started?
Let's do it. Roll me up some randos.
Alright, today we are going to... Alright, today we are going to make a ranger.
Ooh, what is that?
So the rangers are deadly hunters. They're all focused on hunting monsters on the edge of civilization. They have tracking skills. They have lots of skills that specialize in being able to hunt down and track certain things. They're very independent from the wilds and all that kind of stuff.
So Katniss.
Yes, Katniss would be a ranger.
Cat piss never clean.
There you go. Their proficiencies, they wear light and medium armor, they can use a shield, and they can use pretty much every weapon they find, which is nice. Strength and dexterity saving throws, and then they get up from the normal 2.
Oh.
From animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. So lots of sneaking around, hunting stuff.
Sneaky sneaks.
And then animal handling if you want to be one of those kitty petting rangers.
Wait, so like... They can ride a bear while they shoot things?
Sure.
Cool.
They could at least try.
What would I have to roll to let me do that?
A lot.
A lot? Just a lot.
So we'll roll for an archetype for our ranger, and this ranger is going to be a horizon walker. Horizon walkers are rangers that specialize in hunting threats from other planes of existence that have made their way to the mortal material realm, I guess. They get abilities that help them track down planar portals to different places.
Okay.
They're able to traverse planes regularly, so they're be on the outskirts, jumping through to the Feywild, maybe to the outer planes even. They go where they want to hunt down threats and do cool stuff.
So it's kind of like Blade, who just like hunts down vampires and a bunch of other shit.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, kind of.
If the vampires were in a different world, then
yeah.
A different world, then yeah. They get abilities to detect if there are planar portals near them, so they can just sense that. They gain etherealness, which makes them intangible, and they can't take any damage for a round, which is cool. And they get some limited teleportation things.
Ooh.
And then their real advantage is that they get to add force damage. To their attacks. So they get an extra D8 to called attacks and on things, which is really nice.
That is insane.
They can put out some real damage. They're gonna be fun. So the race for this one is a half-elf.
Ooh.
So half-elves are, of course, the offspring of a human. Because of that, they're between two worlds and don't feel like they fit in.
Oh, no.
But they're like the kid who doesn't fit in, so they become really charismatic to try and fit in.
So they become obsessed with trying to hunt down otherworldly beings.
Yeah. No, well, half-elves become diplomats or wanderers and go back and forth. They're more often found in human cities than elven cities, because elves are, stuck up and terrible.
Right. So this is like the drama kid that just nails their monologue?
Yeah. They're very, very
But
charismatic.
everyone's like...
So half-elves are also chaotic bent, focused on personal freedoms, and they don't, nobody likes them, so they don't like following rules, and...
So they're actually student body president more than a drama kid.
No, because they're chaotic. They wouldn't follow rules. They wouldn't be student body president.
Yeah, but they're the one that runs on the two-prong platform.
Okay.
Instead of...
So there are also options for your sub-race for half-elves to figure out what kind of elf your parent was. So this guy's going to be a sun half-elf. So sun elves are your typical high elves. Sun elves are very arrogant, self-important. They think they're the chosen elf race.
Gotcha.
Very kind of elven supremacists. And lots of high magic, and that's where the blade singers come from, which are magic sword guys, which are fun.
Wow.
Because he's a half sun elf, he can either take elf weapon training, or he gets the sun elf cantrips.
Ooh.
Which I think is just like light. I don't.
Okay, I would go with more of the weapons.
Yeah. Well, he's a ranger, so he can already use all the weapons, though. So
Oh, that's true.
that's good. All right, let's get a background.
Do it.
His background is clan crafter.
What?
He was crafter.
What?
He was trained by a dwarven master and likely works for a clan of dwarves.
Okay.
He took on a solemn oath never to pass on trade secrets, since he's not a dwarf, but was somehow trained by a dwarf.
He talked his way into it, obviously.
Yeah. His business is cartography. So
he's a map maker.
He is a dwarven map maker, somehow.
But he's a half-elf, and he can't disclose his map-making secrets.
Yeah, pretty much. Because he's a clan crafter, he is held in high esteem among dwarven society. He gets free accommodations, and everyone tries to make him feel special when he's in a dwarven settlement.
Oh, it's our holy half-elf map maker.
And his proficiencies are history and insight from that.
That makes sense.
So we have a half-elf dwarven clan crafter ranger. Could absolutely have little glasses. So his personality is, I always want to know how things work and what makes people tick.
Okay, that tracks.
His ideal, people. I'm committed to the people I care about, not to ideals. Neutral.
Okay.
So he likes his friends.
Yeah.
His bond, secure someone's love.
Ooh.
Don't we all?
Is it a dwarf?
Who knows?
Oh,
Maybe.
with a lustrous beard.
Flaw, I'm horribly jealous of anyone who can outshine my handiwork. Everywhere I go, I'm surrounded by rivals.
All those map makers.
This is some serious map-making rivalries.
I can tell.
I
can tell.
So his alignment, he's chaotic by nature since he's a half-elf.
Right.
His ideal is a neutral ideal, just to the people, so chaotic neutral. Or even just neutral makes...
Yeah.
True neutral makes sense for him. He doesn't seem to care much about grand... Wants to do what he wants. Make his maps.
Let me make my maps in peace.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. This one's for Dora. It needs to sing.
So his skills for Clan Crafter is history and insight, which is an intelligence and a wisdom skill. Mm-hmm. The ranger skill. Mm-hmm. The ranger skills are all over the place. I think if he's going to go intelligence, it makes sense to give him more intelligence skills. So I'm going to give him investigation and nature as well. And then pretty much pick up stealth whenever you can, because that's a good one.
That is definitely helpful.
Yeah. So he's going to be an intelligent ranger, which should be interesting.
That he needs his glasses.
Yeah. So with every ranger, dexterity is going to be your most important stat. So dump whatever you can into dex. I'm going to dump a bunch into intelligence, since that's where all his skills lie. He'll need wisdom for casting spells later on. And constitution's just good. Strength is probably the dump stat.
Yeah.
For him. And as a half-elf, he gets +2 to his charisma, and +1 to any 2 he chooses. So you get some... Bump him up using those. Alright, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This guy's name is Peren Skyward.
Really?
Yep.
Peren
Skyward.
How dare you?
Peren is the son of famed Lucius Skyward.
Lucius?
Renauld was best known for adventuring and mapping out parts of the mortal realm that no human had traveled before. One of those areas was home to a city of sun elves that Renauld stayed with for a time, and eventually emerged with a young son with elvish features.
How did that happen?
Peren. Peren accompanied his father for a few years before he was left at a dwarven stronghold, and his father never returned. No. Peren was raised by his father's close friend, ranD Scrollwell, and soon apprenticed for him in the art of cartography and map-making. Peren was a curious child, always digging into how things worked, and developing close friendships with the dwarves.
Oh.
Peren started his own adventuring by recreating and updating maps of the region, and spent many nights on his own in the wilderness. Peren learned many skills from his lessons with Ran and his adventures, and made close friendships in his treasure explorers. Peren never was one to insert himself into any situations in the wild, except for those that threatened his friends. Eventually, Peren made his way back to the Sun Elf City to try and meet his mother, only to be turned away for being a poor half-breed.
No.
Breed.
No.
Determined to return and win his mother's affection,
Oh,
Peren
no.
sought out further into uncharted lands and eventually stumbled across a planar portal leading to another realm entirely.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
The portal closed almost immediately, but Peren is determined to be the famous and rich explorer celebrity.
He's so famous for his maps.
Boom!
That worked out really well, actually. I think that's a solid story.
It's a good one.
No, so he's in an orphanage with all these dwarfs.
Well, I'd say it's his father's. He's been raised by his father's friend.
Okay.
But he was a half elf raised by a dwarf. Yeah, which makes it interesting.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, so you could go. I mean, you're gonna be a ranger. You're gonna be shooting. You're gonna be long range. So because he's a half elf, that says use a long by a dwarf. You could actually make him a crossbow ranger, which would be fun.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, but I think you could focus on his intelligence skills. Like, he's a cartographer that takes a lot of intellect, so he'd be very interested in. I'd have him like constantly be the one mapping out regions and the dungeons. Always be the first to like dive through a portal. Any portal that pops up, I'd be like, Peren runs for it.
They'd be like, God damn it, Peren!
The Horizon Walkers are very mobile. I think his favorite enemies, you'd want to go anything that comes from a different realm, so aberrations and elementals, and that kind of thing. And favorite terrains, there's nothing in the terrains that are specifically like other worlds, but just go for the most extreme, crazy ones you can think of. But I think he'd be a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I was like, he sounds like an interesting character. I was just curious how you would play him.
Yeah. No, it depends on if I'd get a good longbow or a good crossbow first, but he could always switch back and forth too.
Well, he's so intelligent. I would make everything kind of steampunky.
Yeah.
Him. I think that'd be fun.
You want like the half moon glasses for him.
Like badass Dumbledore as a ranger.
Feather in the hat.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. All right, well, I think that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Go ahead and do the likes and the subscribes and the comments and the reviews and whatever else you want to do. Let us know you're listening to this nonsense.
I'm Cindy.
Happy rolling.
And drinking wine.